I'm excited to be here tonight to talk about our graffiti program. Some really good things are happening there. As Darren talked about, the strategic alignment here, and I think it's always good to keep in mind that living in a neighborhood free of graffiti and makes you feel safe too, also, that you don't have to worry that there's people out there tagging your neighborhoods. So for the first quarter in 2019, we had 184 cases. And what I would like to relate this to is if we go back 5 years, for the first quarter, we had over 1,000 cases of graffiti reported. So we're on a continual spiral down, and I'll get into that more. There's ways that you can report the graffiti through the graffiti hotline, through email or Access Fort Collins, and we're also very proactive. Part of it is collaborating with our utility companies when we talk about transformer and vault boxes, doing artwork on those. What we've noticed is they don't tag those. Doing those kind of preventative measures has really been positive for the program. So let's look at what our target was. Our target was 1.5, which is the red line across the top, was 1.5 days really to respond to removing graffiti. And then we had a stretch goal of the yellow line, which was 1 day. And this first quarter, we're under that, just right under 1 day of responding to removing graffiti. So I'm really excited to show that to you. How these are reported, basically through these incidents. So you see 75%, the orange is proactive, and then 19% is access to Fort Collins, and 6% is through the hotline. Part of us being proactive really makes a big difference, because if we're out there and we know certain areas that are going to get tagged, if we can get there right after they've tagged them, it really defers them from wanting to come back and do it again. They get a little bit frustrated because they've done their artwork and then we're right there taking it off, so they spend all this time painting it up. So that's part of making the big difference. The other thing is we do a lot of education, reaching out to the schools. Very important to educate our kids coming up so they're on board with us. Also working with the university, HOAs, trying to educate them and how they can use us to help them, because part of what we like to do is provide resources for them if they need it in their neighborhoods. We also work with our trash and recycle haulers, because dumpsters are big targets for graffiti, probably our #1 target. And then also utilities. Very important that we reach out to all of them to get them to be partnering with us. And with that, it makes it a very positive way of dealing with it. And that's really my report.